grow the farm up. We are planting green in 2025. And there's the new addition, a squeeze pump. Can you believe that? I gotta show you guys something here. Look out in front where we banded our 90 pounds of nitrogen and 60 pounds of phosphorus. You can see the cover crop taking it up and almost making rows out of it. And so what I've got is working micronutrients and a nutrient cycle out there. But here, let me stop and show you guys this. This is pretty cool. This is the best placement of in-furrow fertilizer I've ever been able to accomplish. This came out of our fabrication shop. I just couldn't find anything on the market that I liked. So, you know, okay, get the fertilizer back to here somehow, some way. And we built these tubes. The tubes come down right here. Now, I started running with just the tubes, but then we put these hoses on, and they are laying that fertilizer down just right in, look at that, right in the trench, right before the closing wheels hit it. And look at how clean the planter is. One of the reasons I've never been a big fan of fertilizers and planters is because it gets your planter so dirty. Let me lift this up here real quick. There's a look at the squeeze pump. We had to have that made. They don't even make them anymore. And I'll explain to you in a minute why we went with squeeze pump. But look at that. I mean, it's almost like not necessarily another seed firmer, but it is just dropping the fertilizer just exactly where you want it. I mean, it is unbelievable. And you saw how they run down in the furrow. They're not affecting the seed at all. And I mean, this is, you know, a planter. You always wonder when you're planting, is your planter cutting through? And look at that, it cuts through like butter. It cuts through this rye and clover and vetch like butter. I've often thought that this is a better seed bed than any strip till or any type of tillage machine. Now let me show you why we're running a squeeze pump, because this isn't just fertilizer. No, that's the good stuff there. That, oh yeah, that is what biologicals look like. What we're doing is we're mixing a biological mix of molasses and straight humate leonardite, and once you mix it, it kind of begins to grow. It's not necessarily grow, but begins to interact. You've got about 30 minutes to 3 hours to apply this, and I've actually got a circulation pump on it so that I'm keeping it in constant suspension. And so you really kind of want to be mindful of the weather and such. And so what I'm putting on here, 12 gallons an acre in furrow. Wow. Now before you freak out, 6 of it is just water, because I cut everything with water to kind of insulate from the fertilizer burn. A gallon and a half, a 1034-0. What is that, 15, 20 pounds of phos? Not a ton, but a little bit. And then putting on 2.5 gallons of just straight 2800 pop up, 1 gallon an acre, actually a strong gallon an acre of that humisource, straight leonardite, liquidized leonardite, some of the best source of humates you'll find, trichoderm, pseudomonias, everything's in there. I'll make a video one of these days. I've got it in here, actually everything that's in humisource. And then all of that biology needs food. Kind of like the activator, and that is molasses, straight molasses. And I didn't put a little 5 gallon an acre unit on that I could find on the market anywhere, because they just plug up when you run this thick biological mixes that, you know, have to be mixed and directly applied. It's really, you know, I've been working to get to this for decades, and, you know, it's a little early to be planting, so I'm planting 34,000. I usually don't plant this early. I like to let this rye grow a little bit, but rye clover, and they're a little vetch made it over, but it's mostly rye and clover that overwintered, as you can see. I mean, there's some vetch out there here and there, but I'm pretty happy with it. We irrigated it, and as you recall, about a month ago we were out here and we put 90 pounds of nitrogen, 60 pounds of phosphorus, another 1.5 gallons of humisource, and that trace pack of micro minerals, and some LF boost, some sugar, molasses, kind of the same thing. And now we're going with 12 gallons right on top of it, and that pump can go from 3 to 35 gallons supposedly. So with those hoses on, I'm thinking about upping my rate and cutting it with more water. What if in this drought we could put on 25 gallons an acre? I mean, I got 1,000-gallon tanks. What if we could put down 25 gallon an acre in furrow with that setup? And basically what we're doing then is germinating, you know, irrigating while you plant. Yeah, you need some pretty big tanks, but not really. I mean, would you stop and fill up every 50 acres if you could germinate your seed guaranteed? Well, they don't make a system good enough to put it right where it needs to be. And that little simple fabrication that we put together in our fab shop, because I just could not find anything on the market that I would even mount on this planter. You saw look at how clean that planter is staying. That's the biggest thing, right down on the ground. Usually when you're putting fertilizer on, either using a seed firmer to put it on, or putting it on in front with a totally tubular, or even putting it on like I was before I attached those hoses. You just blast fertilizer all over your planter. It's annoying trying to plant, you know. Most of us like our planters. So what do you guys think? You tell me. Is that a decent seed bed to be planting a corn crop into? I mean, it's pretty much counter to everything the university textbook tells us how we should be farming. I don't know, my results and yields kind of speak for themselves, but what do you guys think? And question, how are you getting along in your area? It's supposed to freeze again here. I'm just planting to be planting, because like most of you, I'm probably planting some more corn. So let's spread it out a little bit, and, you know, let's get this new liquid system and everything up and going. And it took 20 acres to just really get everything set right. And now we're rolling on, what do we got, almost 80 acres done for the year. It's the Saturday before Easter Sunday. It's supposed to rain tonight. We have gotten 1.2 inches of usable moisture since January 1st. Not going to comment on it because I don't want to jinx myself. I'm just giving you the factual data. Working on getting the vacuum meter set just right. Notice it's reading. I had to have a new vacuum meter put on, and it's reading a lot higher than it used to. It's all relative, so long as it reads something. But you can see the planter has no additional attachments needed. It just, I even leave my furrow openers on. I just put them all the way up, and they work pretty good for like knocking down beaver dams and stuff like that. You know, going over pivot tracks, stuff like that. Here, going this way, you can see kind of where we fertilize better. And what we did there, if you didn't catch it, go back and look a couple videos ago. We came in with a coulter machine, and 2 inches off where I'm going to plant, so a 2x2 band, about 28 to 30 days ahead of planting, we put down a lot of biology and fertility. And look, you can see, so some of that nitrogen is up in this cover crop and will not become available until it's roller crimped, which is what we're going to do. We're going to let this grow because this will not emerge for 10 days, let's say. Shit, probably 2 weeks if the weather forecast is right. So in 6-8 days, we're going to let this cover crop grow a little bit. Then we're going to come in and roller crimp it. I got a picture of my roller crimper. I don't remember if I put it in my last video or not, but it's actually just sitting in the farmyard over there. I should get it. I'll put a video out about that, and you'll definitely get to see that. And the objective there is, can we eliminate any need for any pre-emergence herbicide on corn? And you know, when you're using cover crops, what you have now is you got, 100 pounds of nitrogen out there going in a circle inside of a living root rhizosphere. So as you plop that seed down in there, there's got to be 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 pounds immediately available. You're dropping 10, 15 pounds right on top of it, cut with a lot of water, and you're dumping all kinds of humic biology, sugar, trichoderm, pseudomonas, everything that you can think of. Every single micronutrient on the elemental chart that could be is in Humisource. It is the greatest trace pack ever, and I haven't found that you can overdo it yet. We're going to try some test plots this year and see if like 3 or 4 gallon gets me 300 or 400 bushels, or they don't call it harvesting, they call it farming. Yeah, it's kind of like the fishing joke. All right, grow the farm up.